Hey, hey.
How's it going, everyone, and welcome to the TNA Body Slam Post Show. I'm joined by always my good buddy Io. How you doing, man?
Oh, doing good, man. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, bro. To you, your family and
hmm
friends. Happy New Year, chats. Yeah, we're off and running here on January 1st for especially for TNA news and stuff. But pretty good. Still cold and windy in the east side. I don't know how it is in the west side for you guys, but
It's rainy, dude. It's I would say like the last like 10 days, it's been
oh,
very
I'll take
stormy,
that.
very windy. Yeah, so definitely not something a lot of us out here. I'm first to admit when it comes to weather, we're pretty soft out here in California. You know what I mean? We can't take much
Yeah.
to get us all upset. But yeah, no, I've been good, man. Enjoy. Happy New Year as well. I thought tonight's show was, man, like I think they're doing as good a job as they can getting ready for this AMC debut. Like I think all full steams ahead. Like as you know, and we'll get into it more later, and we're gonna obviously talk about it more. It happened, but I think the big announcement is we're getting Santana versus Kansarian, not at Genesis, but at the AMC debut. That's huge. You know what I mean? That's big time. That's starting the AMC era off right. Let alone we're also getting Leon Slater versus Maya Reed in a rematch for the X Division Championship. What are your thoughts when you heard about that main event? That's big.
Oh, which one? The world title one?
Yeah, the world title. Just
Um, I thought it was very and we just talked about this just now. I thought it was very clever on them on their part because when you really look at it, when they first booked it for Genesis, in my mind, a little it felt like kind of like a rinse and repeat, so to speak, like because we already
yeah,
kind of did this with Trick Williams, Bound for Glory and stuff. Like the chase, with Trick Williams and Santana Bound for Glory, and then doing it again at another pay per view with Kazarian. So at first, I thought like when it was announced for Genesis, I thought, okay, some fans they might think it's kind of like a repeat or so, because like what would make this different compared to Bound for Glory or even some Slammiversary after. But then when I did heard, and spoiler alert, I did kind of heard about the change. At least a few earlier. So when they announced tonight that it's gonna happen instead on the AMC premiere, it makes a lot of sense because that's the important day. That's the important day. Uh, that's the important moment. That's the important night right now. The AMC premiere. So you want to get all the attention as much as possible. We already got an exhibition title match. We'll get into later, and now Santana possibly regain the world title back on the biggest night in TNA in years. It makes a lot of sense. So yeah, yeah, I support this decision fully. Um, I know our buddy Gerard kind of mentioned. Well, it kind of puts those who already purchased Genesis on a loop. Like they were expecting that to happen on Genesis. Well, at least now they have 2 weeks to prepare. So like, what they want to do? Go to Thursday or Saturday? So, but that's for another conversation. For business wise, I think it makes sense because yeah, it's the AMC premiere is more important than Genesis. So yeah.
I completely agree with you because also too, it's like unless I've heard it, TNA is doing pretty well at TNA Plus. They're doing pretty well. It seems like in the pay per view area, and so I think that I'm not saying they're devaluing Genesis, but I think maybe this time especially kind of putting a TV show ahead of the pay per view is okay. I'm okay with that exception. This is big. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
want to roll out with your best show. Like this show needs to be more important than Genesis. You know what I mean? I would even take it one step further. So getting the world title match and the X Division title to obviously the X Division title is one of the most, that's the cornerstone of TNA. So why not put that on the AMC debut?
Well, I'm not saying
Combination
like
with that with the
I'm not saying like all the best matches should go on the Thursday premiere. I mean, we can save that to the pay per view because we still want fans to watch the pay per view. But for like moments because like surprise and all that stuff. I think that's suited with Thursday because after January 15th, the pressure is on for the Impact Weekly show because they're gonna have to as much as they as much as effort they put on the pay-per-views and Impact specials, they gotta put. I mean, plus specials, they gotta put that pressure towards the Impact Weekly TV.
And because and like I usually really could give a shit less, but like this is a time when I have to kind of swallow how I feel about it, and they do have to somewhat book for the casual audience just because there's a lot more of an opportunity to bring a casual audience in. AMC's in a lot more homes and access that's widely more accessible, so there's a better chance of people stumbling upon TNA, and for the people who do so, you want to be able to give them a product that will keep them invested, keep them interested, and especially if they've never watched. So yeah, they got to put a big time product on for TV now. It can't be these like kind of lax episodes that we've got in the past on Access. You know what I mean? I think sometimes they do really coast. I don't think they can do that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, though, I wasn't necessarily thinking you had mentioned that we were kind of privy to this information a little bit before, so we knew this was coming. But I would say that I don't think that necessarily that they need a world title match right after this for Genesis. You know what I mean? I still think there's a lot of stuff that they can do to make the people going to that show, especially if they're upset that they're not getting a world title match. But yeah, what do you just real quick? What do you think they do for Genesis? Do you think that we get a world title match that quickly? Do you think that there's a chance to build a contender? Do you think maybe Nemeth cashes in, or he has something to do with that? Like, what are you thinking?
That's a good question. Folks are still kind of wondering, what does this do for Genesis? If I would predict, I would think, we will have the other Call Your Shot winner, Nick Nemeth, kind of cashing his shot at Genesis. Basically, like he'll challenge the champion at Genesis or so, because Genesis is still gonna need a main event slots, regardless of who wins on the AMC premiere. So I'll just go with Nemeth challenging the champion. What do you think?
I actually really like that. I'm rocking with that just because I think that let's finish up all these loose ends, or kind of like, I'm not gonna just in the old era. This is like a new chapter start with AMC, and I would say that Genesis is almost like, even though it's technically after obviously the AMC debut, I would say this is like the last pay-per-view under the old chapter. So yeah, let's get this Nemeth match out of the way. You know what I mean? Because going forward, I would like to see them build a really strong feud for the champion going forward, whoever, which we think it will be Santana. I would presume everyone thinks that's where we're going. I would hope so as well, because Arian's had a good run. So
yeah, it'll be a good way to kind of kick off the new era and stuff. And so yeah, Frank, not to mention Frankie, it's pretty much clear. I think we all know that he was just a placeholder champion for the time being, and then it seems like this time is where Santana kind of gets his crown, gets his title back, and then we're off to the races with this new era.
Okay, but we have a lot to talk about tonight, so I hope and make sure you guys are joining us in the chat. We'll try to read as many comments as we can. I think tonight, before we get into tonight's show, let's talk a little bit about some NXT TNA recap. As a lot of people may have watched Obafemi, and whoever watched NXT, and sorry, not Obafemi, but Moose took on Ethan Page for the NXT North American title. I thought that it was pretty solid. You know what I mean? Like, I thought this could have been the chance where we see maybe TNA bring home another piece of NXT gold. But I'm not upset. You know what I mean? I thought it was a really good match, and they made Moose look really good. You know what I mean? And I was fine with the match. Again, I am a little disappointed, but I'm not hating on it. It was a good match. What would you think about this one?
I thought it was a very good short match. Both guys, both guys went explosive right off the bat. I think Ethan went after Moose even before the ring announcer even finished announcing. Um, yeah, this was a very good way to kind of kick off that episode. Moose, as we know, is very agile for a big man. Of course, Ethan, he's been. I mean, got to give the Devils due. He's been on a good run with this North American title reign. Uh, Also doing his thing in AAA. The pairing between Ethan and Chelsea is actually good. Like they couldn't find like a better pairing between these two. Like what I'm saying. Like if if you've been paying attention to like their stuff, they're almost kind of like mirror in sync with one another. He's the he's the male version of Chelsea, and Chelsea is like the female version of Ethan, so to speak. So I kind of dig their parent there. So, yeah, for the match, it was very good. Personally, I mean, I'll be lying if I wasn't saying I wasn't rooting for Moose because I think at some point TNA talent should get the NXT titles. That's what we'll get into on that later. Um, the crowd was definitely behind Moose, which is yeah, which is pretty nice too, because for a guy who's not really for a guy who's not really a part of their roster, it's nice to see him get the crowd favorite or so. And he's been a heel for a longer period of time, so that's pretty cool too. But yeah, as I mentioned, explosive, fast pace, a lot of near falls. Then what really changed was the steel steps, as folks keep pointing out, like Moose tried to go for I think a spear or whatnot, but then Ethan countered with a back body drop, and then where Moose landed back onto the steel steps, it kind of looked a little gnarly-ish there.
Yeah,
And
those
then
nasty.
yeah, then towards right after that, Moose kind of tried to recover them, but then Ethan hit his finisher. It's a move similar to like the Twist of Fates, and got the 1, 2, 3 and retained the title. So yes, he successfully defend the title against not one but two TNA talents so far. So, but yeah, yeah, decent match. Yeah, so to speak. Were you able to catch some of it?
Yeah, yes, I was. Yes, I was. I thought this was a really good match. And let me just say that real quick on Ethan Page, I would say that everyone has a right fit when it comes to like the company that they're in. I mean, which company they choose. And and this is no disrespect to Ethan, and I'm not saying that like he's a scrub in the ring or you know what I mean, but like I think he really has found the right fit in WWE slash NXT. He's really good at his character stuff. You know what I mean? He's really good at that kind of stuff, and like perfect combo with how you're saying he's the male Chelsea Green, and it makes sense that they're paired up. So yeah, I completely agree with you, Io, on this match. And yeah, no, that step spot was very brutal. That seemed to be the kind of where the tides turn. It was a nasty landing. But yeah, no, like I said, this was a good match.
Yeah, yeah, very good match to kick off the episode of NXT. And also some TNA talents were showing their support for Leon for his upcoming title match Tuesday against Oba. Elias, Cardona, Santana, Mara, yeah, all kind of riding with the youngest in charge. So we'll kind of get to it before since we'll talk about it next week. So we kind of get into it. Who do you think should win Tuesday between Oba and Leon? I think I know your answer, but I kind of want to hear from you.
I'm, I'm
All right. Well, Bird will join us later. I'm gonna rock with the youngest in charge, Leon. Actually, but this honestly, it can go either way when you really think of it, because Obafemi, he's this monster dominant of a champion. Like he can easily just kind of dog walk through Leon Slater, like the same what he did with Javon Evans, and you kind of wonder, like, how is Leon gonna overcome this obstacle? But then again, here's a guy who defeated Moose, another guy who Oba encountered at one point to win the X Division title. So Leon's no stranger to big man. He gone through Moose, gone through AJ Francis, two big men in their own right. So like he's no new to facing big man. So it should be a very interesting matchup. Um, so I was just saying, yeah, Leon's no stranger to facing big man like Moose and AJ Francis. So him facing Oba will be interesting challenge. But again, he's no new to facing big man. So I was asking you, like, who do you think should
And yeah,
win?
you were
Like,
asking me, you know, can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, no, you had asked me, well, who do I got in this match? We've seen a few people in our group chat kind of say that they think Leon got this one. I think that would be really cool, because I do think Oba WWE that much, but I've been seeing how they've been teasing Oba, making his main roster debut. He's obviously main roster bound sooner than later. Yeah, I think that would be really huge in people talking.
All right. Well, we'll wait for Bert again. Yeah, it's gonna be a very
Regardless.
oh, you're back. Oh, you're back.
Yes, it's going to be a
All right.
good match regardless.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's gonna be
Okay.
you could say it's a kind of like a dream match, but like it's kind of like the dream match we never thought would be possible. So yeah, Tuesday should be interesting.
Yes,
All right.
definitely.
While we're on the WWE subject, some interesting news came about this morning. You want to touch on it?
Yes. We saw. Let me just pull up the. I have it saved. According to our own Body Slam, Body Slam, but the TNA WWE partnership is expected to last until at least 2028. Both companies are reportedly very happy with their relationship, especially with the development opportunities it provides for talent. That's really, really, I would say, good news, especially because of that last statement. I think that's very, very true. Whether it's Trick's the way that Trick kind of turned into, I think Trick just kind of turned into the complete package in his time with TNA, and we even heard JC speak highly about being there. So yeah, I think this does wonders for both companies, especially you see right now the storyline. It's really getting a lot of these guys in NXT some reps that they weren't getting. So yeah, this is good for both companies. But what were your thoughts when you heard this, IO?
Um, I think like it was bound to get extended. Seems like both companies, as reported, they're very happy with the way things are going with the relationship. So far, I know people have their thoughts in mind or opinions about the relationship, but for the most part, it seems like it's helped both sides. More importantly, TNA's business, of course. We're getting new people watching, new people in the crowd attendance. Obviously, you can tell it's a mix of WWE fans and TNA fans in the attendance when watching. Um, also has been good for developing talent wise. Like you mentioned, JC Jane, Kalani Jordan, Trick Williams. An argument can be made. JC's rise, like she's a two-time NXT Women's Champion, and she was Knockouts champion. It can be argued that if it wasn't for her coming to TNA early, that who knows, maybe they wouldn't have enough confidence to kind of put her in the position to where she defeated Stephanie Vaquera to become champion, and she's current champ right now. Um, Kalani Jordan, it was argued like in the beginning, at least if folks would kind of take her serious as a heel because she was kind of like the at first she was kind of like the innocent baby face, but then soon after, like once she after won that knockouts title, she immediately like turned like flipped the switch. Like she was once like a popular baby face, and now she's like now kind of like a vixen type of heel or so, you know what I mean? Because now she has an attitude in her, which was kind of missing in my opinion. I guess I'm a fan of Kalani too, and obviously obviously the main guy Trick Williams, who was already a big star, like a big star out of the NXT roster, but then Trick kind of showed that he's just as good. Like he doesn't even need to chase after the NXT title. Like soon after he appeared on TNA, going after Joe Hendry, we were off to the races. Trick and A and all that stuff. And I know his reign or his time there probably will not get that much appreciation, but I think it can be argued like Trick kind of really helped kept the engine going within the relationship as far as a product standpoint. And of course, right now we still have NXT talent appearing on our show, obviously like tonight, for instance. But I'll also say from the TNA side, we're still seeing TNA talent appear on WWE programming. I mentioned Joe Hendry, obviously, Mania and Rumble. Now we're seeing Leon Slater, who appeared on NXT a lot. He was even on John Cena's retirement show, and like that's huge. Like that's freaking huge to even be a part of that show where millions are watching for a TNA talent. That's pretty huge there too. So yeah, on the relationship, I can see both sides are very happy, and it's good timing too because we know with the AMC deal, TNA is getting enough exposure. That's the way how I see it. Like we're getting enough exposure. So yeah, all things good for both sides in this partnership. All right. We'll wait for Bird again. So right after this, we were going to get into NXT talents. I'm sorry, not NXT talent. Some former NWA talent being released. Uh, so it was just reported today, actually, on Fightful that by one by the person himself, and then one by another.
Sorry, everyone,
Form.
about that. I have a
Oh
little
no,
bit
you're
of a
good. Oh no, you're good, man. You anything you want to say about the relationship? It's funny. I
yeah.
see
No,
two
I'm
birds.
with you.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm with you on 100% in terms of this is helping both sides, and it's funny. Maybe this will. I could see on one hand this stoking the fire of the haters who think WWE is buying TNA. That wasn't where I was going. But to me, this is just solidifying them being able to use TNA talent, vice versa, without having to really sign them at this point. And so it's good tryout for them. And I think ultimately I'm okay with that because we've been saying, and TNA talks about this. TNA is all about kind of going after that talent that hasn't been discovered yet. You know what I mean? Getting them ready. So I'm okay with TNA in that stage. And so if somebody happens to leave TNA for WWE, I'm not going to fault them. So yeah, this is a good relationship for both sides. I'm happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's on the talent's decision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm speaking from like a business standpoint and a product standpoint. We're getting fresh stuff, or at least we're getting fresh stuff, fresh talent, fresh programming,
Yes.
storylines, and whatnot. So, business standpoint, I see is a good thing that is continuing at least, yeah, for at least 2 more years, and we'll see what happens after. And the timing is great because with the AMC deal and stuff, so TNA needs as much exposure and as much exposure they can get right now. So, yeah.
Yeah, right now TNA technically only has 2 hours of weekly TV, so allowing the TNA wrestlers to be on NXT weekly TV, that's awesome. You know what I mean? It just gives them more opportunities. So yeah, I couldn't be happier for TNA. And I think I would hope every wrestling fan is happy for them. You know what I mean? So because this is big, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I
it's
think a lot
big
of people
for
would
us.
agree.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like you should be pro, not one company. You should be pro wrestling. So pro wrestling. So exactly. Okay. Before we get into and we have a lot more to talk about, I just want to remind everyone this week's podcast is sponsored by Shroom Bar, the protein mushroom bar. It's made of not psychedelic, but 4 powerful mushroom adaptogens. It has lion's mane, which increases focus, memory, and neuroplasticity, making it easier to form new patterns and learn new things. Next time you're trying to learn that new move, it might actually stick in your head rather than forgetting it immediately. It has cordyceps, which increases VO2 max, blood flow, and overall endurance. It has reishi, which decreases stress. It has turkey tail, which can boost your immune system. And we know you're all going to need to run those nasty ass gym mats. On top of all that, it's 12 grams of protein. Go to eatshroombar.com and use Body Slam at checkout for 25% off your first order. Okay. And like I said, we have a lot to talk about. And again, why the WWE and TNA relationship I think is big. There was also a lot of like big announcements around the other part of wrestling. We had two big, I would say, NWA talent releases. One of them was Colby Corino, the son. I believe everyone's pretty familiar. Steve Corino's a
Oh yeah.
pretty, I would say, a pretty big name. And yeah,
Oh
I
yeah.
think Kobe is a young guy who. This is what I'm talking about, Io, and I think you would agree with me. These are the kind of people that TNA should pounce on. You know what I mean? Because he's young in his career. You know what I mean? I think he's got years ahead of him, but I don't think that there's going to be a big rush to sign him from the other two big companies. You know what I mean? So I think it leaves TNA in a good spot to try to get him.
Oh yeah. Fan of Kobe. Yeah, fan of Kobe. I've been seeing his work during the early NWA NWA stages. Uh and yeah, the dude's only I just checked, the dude's only 29. Like I just turned 30 a few months back. He's 29 now. So yeah, he's still young, still has a lot, going on him. Um You might not notice actually. I believe he was signed at one point to WWE, but they never actually introduced him or brought him in. I mean, not introduced him, or he never really kind of started there,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. So he ended up coming back on to NWA. So it's still possible, but the way things are going, I don't think he's that huge of a radar, so to speak. And then same goes with AEW. He might just, do evolve match. I mean, do Ring of Honor dark matches, whatnot. But yeah, in TNA, I mean, ironically, in TNA, the head of talent relations is a ECW legend himself. So if anyone, if anyone respects the Corino name, is Dreamer himself. But so I wouldn't be surprised if he gives young Kobe a shot here. And yeah, Kobe, yeah, he's very good. Very very good, very agile for a guy his height for his yeah, someone who would fit well in the X division fairly, and probably few top guys or so. Uh Out of the NWA roster I was watching, yeah, he was one of my favorites. So him being a free agent, yeah, should be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting what he does next or so.
Yeah, and again, he's somebody who I think TNA obviously no brainer adds to the depth, and then there's someone he's also someone with tremendous upside that you could think could rise to the ranks of TNA and could really pan out being a big asset for them. So yeah, he's definitely a name I would check out if I were TNA. The other release, and I don't. This should be a name everybody in TNA is familiar with, at least if you've been a fan for like the last, I would say 10 years. See,
Yeah, we'll wait for we'll wait for Burt again. Oh, you ready, man?
yeah, I want you to start with this one. What were your thoughts when you saw the EC3 was finishing up with NWA, and were you immediately thinking you want to see him come home to TNA? Is that where you were going? Well, what are your thoughts on this one?
Um, let me say this. It's ironic. It's ironic this is all happening. It's ironic. Like this news is just happening because a couple days ago, uh, um, I think, Yellowbone on Twitter, TNA fans know. Yeah, he's likes to post a lot of wrestling highlights, TNA highlights and stuff. He posted this tweet saying that I would kill to see this one more time, referring to EC3's entrance. And then a day prior, EC3 posted, if you check, we'll wait for Burt again. A few days prior, EC3 tweeted a photo of a portrait of him and Dixie Carter, and it was kind of interesting. What was that about? And then the day after, this talented video editor, I'm gonna give her a shout out real quick.
Sorry when I'm having internet troubles tonight. Sorry about that, Io.
No, I can relate better.
I'll go after you.
So I mentioned Yellowbone a few days prior, saying that he would kill for an EC3 entrance. Um, then I mentioned the tweet EC3 put out of the portrait of him and Dixie Carter. If you haven't seen it yet, and then oh, you have, yeah, and then this talented video editor, her name's Danny. She does incredible video editing work. She's done video work for AEW's Julia Hart. If you watch the Triangle Madness, Titantron, that's her work. She also does the Righteous work. The Titantron that we saw in the Righteous, that's her work too. So giving a shout out to her.
Yes.
Yeah. She's
Definitely.
and she tweeted a video. She's currently working with EC3 on some stuff, which should be interesting. What's that about? So it includes EC3 getting rid of some old gear and then looking like himself, like TNA EC3. Like he even had like the vintage pose, turnaround pose and stuff. He drops both the NWA and TNA titles, and you're thinking like, At first, I was thinking like, well, he must be up to something. But then I kind of shrugged it away because he's still part of NWA and then whatnot. And lo and behold, he tweets that his time with NWA has come to an end. So yeah, to sum it up, I'll give two perspectives. Thing is, he's not really the same EC3 as we TNA fans come to know of. So, like, I think when he had that WWE run, it kind of changed him, or like kind of ruined his confidence, so to speak. And then after that, he did the control your narrative stuff, and we're not gonna get into that. And then, of course, he was in Ring of Honor for a bit. And then, of course, now into NWA. He was, and of course, yeah, he had a year reign as the NWA World Champion there and stuff. So, it'd be interesting. I wouldn't be against it. I'll say that. Me personally, yeah, I wouldn't be against it. Is it mandatory? Not really. So, I mean, it would please, obviously, it will please the TNA fans like us, because like it'll please, the OG TNA fans like us, because we're big fans of like the EC3 run and stuff. So, um, again, I'll say, is he needed? No, but I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it too. Like, and I also have a pitch in mind, but I'll get to you. How you feeling on Ethan Carter's situation?
Well, first off, yeah, I don't really keep up with NWA as much as I did, and it wasn't that much to begin with. But until like the last since the Power days, you know what I mean. I don't keep up that much. I don't know what he had. I'm not really so much interested in seeing him in the ring as I am interested because I see a lot of the guys in our group chat mention his creative mind. And I think that is, and we hear a lot of, us diehard TNA fans talking about that's where TNA's lacking right now. And so if he could come in and add something, extra to creative, I'm all for that. Again, I'll go back and just say it one more time. I don't really necessarily want to see him in the ring. I think there's a lot of guys and girls that need to be pushed ahead of him in TNA. I don't really want to see him take up ring time. But again, that's more so because I just haven't seen him in the ring. But as you had mentioned, the last time I did a lot full time was with WWE, and I would say agree with you. His mystique / aura was kind of ruined there. You know what I mean? He wasn't.
Yeah.
We're not going to get EC3 in his prime. I will say, and because I want to hear your idea, I would rather have him, for example, see and lead the Diamond Collective over Robert Stone. I think EC3 could fill that same void. He could be that same guy, especially if you come in. Now, in no way, shape, or form, and no disrespect, I don't want to see Dixie on TV necessarily, but you bring back again as a member of the Carters and kind of roll with this again and make it a very heelish fashion. I'm all for that. But yeah, I really want to hear your idea. I definitely. What were you thinking? What would you do with him if you brought him in?
So once after once after I read that he was gone from NWA, and then the pitch and people thinking, well, what if he comes back and da da da. It didn't took me that long to think of an idea. Thinking, well, he's not gonna be pushed as a top guy because we already have enough top guys for that. But he still has how to put this? He still has contribute some uh he still has some contributions to the company that that could be used that could be used in some way. And the pitch I mentioned is the system. They're going to be down a member after JDC retires after Genesis, and they've been teasing, including tonight, about looking for a new member and stuff. And now originally we pitched Cardona like a while back, but then I thought about, okay, here's this another guy that's actually close with Eddie Edwards and Moose, and that's actually EC3. Like for those who don't know, like, yeah, these guys, they're actually good. He's actually good friends with them. They train together. Obviously, they're all there together during the down stages, the company at the time and stuff. So it would kind of like smooth in, and of course, Moose and EC3, they had that short feud back during the pandemic. So I thought about it. I'm thinking, like, if someone's gonna kind of fill in, not what I'm say fill it, like replace, be a member in the system, it should be someone that is already tight with the members already, and that being Ethan. So I just figure, like, it would kind of make sense. Don't you think? EC3 in the system. All right. We'll wait for Bert again. So before I ask his opinion, so I think it kind of makes sense because, like, yeah, again, yeah, he's tight with Eddie and Moose and Alicia, and another, of course, another. You have another former world champion to the group, so it kind of adds a little, adds more credibility, to the group, and also it also gives them a fresh direction, like with the system. Let's be honest, like we're heading into 2026, into 2026. What's the direction now with the system? Like they've already been champions. Moose was X Division champion. They feuded with Order Four, so it's like if we're gonna keep them together, it's like they're gonna have like do something new or fresh. So I figure maybe again, this is my own pitch. Like if they were thinking about bringing in Ethan, I think putting him in the system would be the one to do it. And it's all right. And we're back. All right. Yeah, I was gonna ask. So, what do you think of my pitch? Oh, all right. Well, we'll wait for Bert again. So yeah. I think it kind of makes sense. But again, I'm not gonna say like I'm fully all in of like them bringing in EC3 like again because as I mentioned he's not the same and he's sort of a little wash I guess to say not none to disrespect him. I mean the guy's still the guy's in his early 40s so he could still go. It's not like he's slowed down a bit. All right, here we good, buddy?
Yeah, no. Again, I don't remember the last time we had this bad of weather. So sorry, you guys. Again, my Wi-Fi is a little spotty tonight.
All right. Yeah, your opinion on my pitch. EC3 in the system.
Yeah, I rock with that. You know what I mean? To me, I do like that. I like that actually more than Cardona as a choice. I think that's a completely good fit. I think there's a lot of history there. Yes, you mentioned he was there during the lean years, so he does know these guys. You know, he fits in the group, walks in, it makes sense. You know, because the system we're always kind of like a grizzled, older group. You know what I mean? So he does fit. I just will add, Io, that I do think that I have no problem if that's not what he does. If he doesn't go to the system, I still think him as a mouthpiece would be a good idea. Like, you know, you put him with Jake something who we keep talking about. They need to do obviously something with. I think he could really be useful getting, you know, some people over. But yeah, I do think him rolling with the system is a very good choice, and it does make a lot of sense. I would be completely fine with that. I like that.
That could work too. So like as Jake something mouthpiece, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
definitely think, yeah, no, Ethan coming in and putting together his own faction would be intriguing.
yeah. Oh, it would. Um, yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see what's his next move. So
You could even say, you know, because they used to say that Jake something was Diener's cousin. You could say that Ethan is Jake's other cousin.
yeah,
I mean, you know, yeah, his long lost, you know, his rich side of the family. You know what I mean? You bring Ethan in. But yeah, no. Again, I'd be fine with it if he did come back to TNA. You know, less so in a wrestling role, but I do think he's got something
yeah.
left for TNA.
When you think of it, some of the people that he's worked with are still there. Like
Yeah.
not just Moose, Eddie, Matt Hardy, obviously, and stuff. So I would keep an eye. Again, is he needed? I would say no, but can he add something to the product? I would say besides the system, you can sort of speak. So yeah, we're just gonna have to see what's Ethan's next move. So
Okay, guys.
all right,
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna finally get in. Again, I told you guys we had a shitload to talk about.
yeah,
We're gonna get tonight's episode, which we had mentioned. This I thought this episode was hot. You know what I mean? They're really building up to something, and the show was no exception. But we're gonna start with, and what better to start with the knockouts action? We had the Elegance brand, Heather Douglas and Maggie. I don't know if she goes by that still, but Heather with Maggie, with Iceman, obviously taking on the Angel Warriors, Xia Li. This was a really good match, man.
Yeah, this was a good opener. We're waiting for Burn. This was a good opener. Um, I was doing a little stat. It seems like yeah, the Angel Warriors they have been undefeated going into this one. So undefeated team against Knockouts Tag Team 2025 team. So yeah, even though Laying Lee's Knockouts champion, it's nice that she's still in a well functioned tag team with Zaya. Yeah, good good fast paced opener. A lot of good offense from the Elegance brand too. When the referee had a back turn, um M did this baseball slide drop kick towards Zaya. Then I think I saw her head hit the announce post. I was thinking like, oh, that was a little rough. But yeah, very good fast pace opener. Then of course, like during into the match, it was just when it seems like Laney was gonna get the tag. Then comes Danny Luna to attack Laney, obviously because last week Luna put her attentions know that she's coming after Lee and stuff. So she attacks her at the ring post. The Elegance brand capitalize. Uh, oh, you want to get your viewpoints on the match?
Yeah, I'm just gonna try to go as fast as I can tonight. You guys, we'll get you guys out of here. I want to hear mostly what Io has to say since his internet seems to be working. Yeah, no, I get that's a really good match. I like having Danny get involved in the finish. It keeps the Elegance brand good as strong heels. The Warriors really didn't need the match. It's about building up Zaya versus Danny. I mean, versus Lane versus Danny. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, seems like yeah they're building up towards. Or I'm gonna wait for Bird again. It seems like they're building towards Danny versus Laying Lee. Uh, Probably towards Genesis. I don't think it's needed for the AMC premiere. Uh, yeah, the Elegance brand continue to continue to pick up some wins. To me, they haven't really lost a step since Ash vacated the belt and then they lost the tag titles. So it's nice to see like things are still going well. Like they're still picking up some good wins and stuff. All right. Bert really knows the order of stuff, but I'll try to remember. So backstage we had Gia Miller going into Santino's office, and you can obviously you can obviously see that Santino he's on a downward spiral. He's not really feeling himself because of what happened 2 weeks ago when Ariana Grace betrayed him. So he gave Gia the note to give it to Tom and Raywall to announce the matches, which I'll get into later. But yeah, uh, Santino, yeah, he's. I mean, of course, I mean, I mean, any father can relate, a daughter betraying him and stuff. So yeah. All right. Next match, it was the next match is Mustafa Ali taking on the hometown El Paso's own, the hometown man. Uh, this was a yeah, very short, very short, very good, good very decent sort of match. I mean, the hometown man got a lot of offense opening and stuff. Mustafa, of course, needing having order four beside him, having all the advantages he needs. But yeah, got the work done out of hometown man. And then of course after the match, the order four beat down on hometown man, and then of course the guitar sound, and comes Elias. Well, Elias was at the we thought it was Elias at the ramp walking. Learn Hotch and Skylar to come after him. But lo and behold, that wasn't Elijah. I'm gonna have to Elijah. I'm gonna have to work on saying it right. Elijah was actually behind Mustafa, and he tried to whack him with the guitar, but Mustafa escaped. And of course, to to anger Ali, Elijah started singing and started playing the guitar, singing the hometown man song, and yeah, there was that. Oh yeah, it was announced that Genesis that these two will finally go head to head, Elijah and Mustafa. So that should be very that should be a very interesting match. Personally, I think it'll be a sleeper one. So all right, real quick, guys, in the chat, feel free to comment away or so. I mean, if and entering super chats, willing to answer any questions or so. But yeah, just keeping the comments live while we wait for my buddy Bird. So yeah, backstage we got the Rascals coming into Santino's office. All right, buddy. Anything want to say about Mustafa and Hometown Man? Or-
No, good match. I thought it should have been quicker. I want Ali coming off more dominant. I didn't think it should have been a squash, but I'm okay with it. Good win.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, so we have. Yeah, I was saying that like you're good at the what happened on the match segment order, so I'm just I'm just scrolling through the stream right now to see where we are. All right, so we have the Rascals backstage. Um Obviously arguing, well, I mean, not like brotherly arguing, like as to like, you know, who should get a shot at Leon Slater in the X Division title. So they go into Santino's office. Again, Santino, you know, I mentioned this, yeah, Santino, you know, he's still not really feeling himself very he's heartbroken, so to speak. Like, don't you agree? He's heartbroken. So
He's a father. Yeah, his daughter's turned on him. You know what I mean? He's depressed. And in terms of the Rascal segments, I really like what they're doing with them because they're really hungry. You know, there's not showing any tension, but everyone in the group is hungry. You know what I mean? They're all trying to get this, you know, get a top spot. So I like what they're doing with them. You know, yeah, they're not really fighting, not really depressed, but yeah, I like those segments.
I agree. I also think keeping them doing singles matches really helps too, because as great as they are collectively as individuals, they're very good as well.
That's a great point out because I think that they're not needed necessarily in the tag division. So having them kind of be 4 singles guys, but still a faction is very smart. It's kind of like we were talking about, like building them as kind of like the elite. I definitely like that.
Yeah. I think TNA is kind of catching on it too. Like as great as they are together, singles, like in singles, they're very good as well. Like I mean, 2 of the 4 are former X Division champions. One of them won the Super X Cup and is a former North American champion. The other is a current Revolver champion and the Independents and stuff. So yeah, all 4 of them, yeah, they're very successful in their mind. So yeah, so depressed Santino came up with the idea that no, I mean it was announced, yeah, Leon's defending the in a triple threat Genesis, but he'll also be defending on the AMC premiere, which is big, and he'll be defending against the winner of the triple threat match later between Trey, Myron, and Wentz. So that should be very interesting.
Let me just say, oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I really like how this.
All right, I guess we'll wait for Bird again. Oh, you could continue, man. Continue.
Yeah, no. They're finding creative ways to use Rascals, and I'm glad that they're getting all of them on screen. They're really maximizing their screen time, and I really like that. So yeah, I'm with you on the Rascal segments. Okay, our next because I'm old. I don't remember what I saw a lot of people comparing this NXT Outlaw segment to, I believe, like an old WWE segment involving like Stephanie. Do you have any context to me with this?
Like
when it came to like Ariana's part of this whole segment.
So like you definitely get Stephanie McMahon vibes. I think it's intended that way. Wait for Burst take. You definitely get Stephanie McMahon vibes seeing them. And I was gonna answer the Burt. So like when go back to Armageddon 1999, when Stephanie turned on her father Vince, and of course she rolled with Triple H and DX. I was mentioning, yeah, Armageddon 1999.
Okay.
Stephanie Triple H DX. This is kind of like the bootleg.
Okay. Okay.
The bootleg
that's
DX.
fine.
You can see, yeah. So yeah, in comes it's ironic we got into this next. So yeah, Ariana, Stax, the rest of the NXT Outlaws. What's interesting, yeah, it was mostly Ariana doing the talking. I think that's good because this is mostly about her. See, she said some of the things that I knew she was gonna say. That basically blaming her dad, never really caring about her, caring about the fans, paying more time to the fans, selfish, kind of saying all the similar things Dominic Mysterio would say, like selfish dad, never paid attention to me, da da da. She thought she was the perfect daughter, but that wasn't enough. Like bam, 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 all the things like a betrayal child would say to, like, a father or so. Don't you agree?
Yeah, like again, you could call everything about this heel turn typical, and everything that she was saying was like copy paste repeat from many heel turns in the past, especially like, what I mean, adding what you said to me about the Stephanie thing. Because yeah, I don't remember that every detail. But again, people talk about all the time about heat, and you need something to go along with just a good wrestling. Well, again, this might be typical and copycat storytelling, but I definitely think it added a lot of juice to it that wasn't there before. So I'm with this. I'm not going to complain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Like, despite the NXT talent that we have, I'm intrigued with this storyline in particularly. I still disagree that the international title doesn't need to be involved in this, but I guess that's for another topic. So, but this storyline, I'm intrigued, definitely. I think Ariana. Well, I mean, I still pay attention to NXT, what they're doing. They're not really doing much on NXT wise, but here, I think they have potential to be a very heel couple, like a very good heel couple, so to speak. So,
yes,
we'll see what's
I completely agree with you, and I think that's where I think Stax can really shine in this role. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to where they go with this, because I do think that this has some legs to it. Okay, next we're going to get into what I thought was a really fun match, and I was really, really impressed. It was a knockout 6-woman tag match. It was Jody Threat, Indy Hartwell, and Jada Stone taking on the Diamond Collective of Tessa Blanchard, Victoria Crawford, and Mila Moore. And let me just say, Io, before I let you go in, I thought this was pretty much a Mila Moore. Jada Stone looked really good as well, but I thought this was a Mila Moore showcase, just in terms of this is someone you got to go. And I really like the nod at the end. It seems that Tessa was very impressed. You got to roll with this girl. You know what I mean? They got something cooking with this faction. I'm not the biggest Robert Stone fan, but they got something cooking here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I like this whole match. And it was good to see Jody back as well.
Yeah, you're right. This was a showcase for all the women, but in particularly Mila and Jada. Jada, this is her, yeah, this is her first TV match. Well, since she got signed, and I thought she really good, looked good. Mila, yeah, she looked good too. This was a good trios match. Everyone got their shine in. Everyone got their shine in, from Jody to Indy to Tessa to Mila to Jada to Victoria. Even that doofus Robert Stone got involved and stuff. Um, they got some. I'll say this. I know, say what you want about Tessa and all that stuff. They really got something with this faction, in my opinion. Because I mean, at some point, like Tessa, she needed. It was only a matter of time before she kind of has her own faction or so. Coming, because that's what happens when you're a top heel. You're gonna get a faction.
Mhm.
That's just how it. That's just how it is. You know, in wrestling.
Yep.
So, um, credit, I'll say Victoria. Like, I mean, I haven't been impressed with so far of her own run so far, but at least she can still move and stuff. Like, she still does a good northern suplex and stuff. But Mila Moore, like you mentioned, uh the one we should spotlight here is, she really has potential. She does. Like, from her look, from the way her demeanor, and riding with a group, like, is going to help boost her stock. And I'm really glad that she got the pin too, in this match. So, and of course Jada Stone, like, it was a good showcase for her too. She was all over the match, and she kind of wrestles like an exhibit. She kind of wrestles like for like an exhibition talent. You like, don't you agree?
Mhm. Mhm. I definitely think that this match was very quick paced. I definitely like the different styles that Jada and Mila bring. You know what I mean? They don't wrestle the same way, and that's obviously you would hope that when you're signing talent. You know what I mean? Everyone should be different. But yeah, I really thought that was on display in this match. So yeah, TNA's got two good ones for the future. So yeah, I really like
Yeah,
this one.
I do.
Okay, next we're gonna move on to a triple an X Division triple threat we mentioned earlier. Yeah, TNA, the home of the. I think no one does triple threat like TNA, but this was the X Division match for the number one contender. It was Myron Reed taking on Zachary Woods, taking Trey Miguel. I wouldn't say this was the best match that these gentlemen could have. I've seen them all have better, but I thought this was really good. You know what I mean? You could kind of, I'm not going to not ever think of Matt Hardy's comments anymore, just because I think that every week that I think about it when I watch certain things, it's like kind of what he said. You don't want to have great matches every week. You know what I mean? You want to save some, and I definitely this match only needed to tell a story, and it just needed to get someone to the finish line in terms of being number one contender. And as you know, it's Myron Reed again, and I'm completely happy because I don't think anybody that watched their first match didn't want to see them run back. So this is going to be great. I'm excited for this. But what do you think about this
Yeah,
triple threat?
yeah. Anytime, I never get bored watching the Rascals. Like, anytime, any other types of match, tag team, triple threat, whatever, multi-person, or even singles, like, you're gonna get a good one. Um, I can tell that they're trying to start build up Myron a bit or so, because he yeah he was in the ring with not only his brothers but also former X Division champions in their own right, and so he's kind of like you could say the dark horse or underdog or whatever, like, so to speak. So I'm glad that they're kind of boosting him up a bit. It could honestly, this could have gone to either one, like Leon Slater versus either three of these men would have been good, and it was good that he was on commentary too, kind of giving his own tips. You can tell, like, how grown Leon is, because he really carries himself on promos. But yeah, very good stuff, fast pace, very quick match, everything the X Division is all about and stuff. And I'm glad, yeah, Myron got the win too. I thought it was gonna be Wentz. I thought it was gonna be Wentz because I don't think Leon and Wentz face yet or so. But yeah, Myron getting the pin. So we're running back from Victory Road. And for folks who haven't seen the Victory Road match, they need to go see it ASAP, because it was really good. that TNA will wait for Bird again. That TNA even put these guys in the main event of Victory Road, and like that's a huge accomplishment there. So um, anyone who has AMC Plus or whatever, you better freaking tune in for this match coming January 15th. That's all I gotta say to that. All right. While we wait for Bert, real quick, yeah. Earlier, yeah, the Righteous came out, said a few things. Then the Hardys came out. Basically, yeah, the Righteous. Any thoughts on Myron Leon again?
No, it's going to be a good match, and yeah, sorry about this guy. We'll get you out of here pretty quick. We're almost to the main event. Yeah, no, I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be good. Way to kick off AMC. It's kind of match you want.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if folks haven't seen their match at Victory Road, they need to go see it. Like, it's really good. All right, I was just speeding up. Yeah, the Righteous came, said a few things. Then the Hardys. Basically, the Righteous, they don't want to fight the Hardys. They want to help them, whatever the hell that means. Um, we'll talk about them another time or so. But I don't think I don't
Yeah,
think I don't think they're going to be the ones that throw in the Hardys. I just don't see it, especially the way their motives. Apparently, they want to assist Matt and Jeff or whatever, and Matt and Jeff are not buying it, whatnot. So we're just gonna see from there. All right. The system. Uh, yeah, the system came out for real quick to you know, talk about Genesis, JDC and Eddie, and they're hyping up. Before that, they're hyping up. Next week, the system they'll be taking on the Hardys, Cedric, and Leon in an 8-man tag, so that should be fun. All
that's
right.
an all-star 8-man tag. I've never heard one, so that's going to be a
Yeah.
banger.
Yeah, next week's pretty loaded. All right, main event time. All right, all right, you want to take this? Or?
No, I was just going to say IO because yeah, no, I want you leading this one just because yeah, I don't. Again, my internet's been so spotty, and I don't want to cut out in the middle of something. I just want to say this real quick, and I'll let you take this one, IO. They built Bear Bronson like an absolute terror. Like this, they made this guy. I think they made him tonight, and they made this guy someone to pay attention to. I was very impressed. They got to go in on this guy. And again, if they're trying to course correct, let's build this guy like the monster that they should have built Jake as. I'm sorry to keep making the comparison, but it's just so similar guys at two of the same time periods, kind of intersecting at different points in their career in TNA. And I just think they need to make this guy one of their focal points. But yeah, I'll let you go ahead, Io. What do you think about this match?
Yeah, this was a great opportunity for Bronson. Um, they could have just put this the opener or the middle in between, but dude's only been here for a few weeks, and he just had three he just had three he just had 2 matches, and already he's getting a world title match. Like that's pretty impressive. So and he took Frankie to the limit. Yeah, I mean, you gotta admit that. Like when right after in fast pace, Frankie had to kind of like take him, like give himself a few timeouts outside the ring and stuff. But for what it's worth, it was a very challenging title defense for Kazarian, because yeah, this Bear Bronson dude, he took this opportunity and ran with it. Very good showing from him. A lot of good near falls. Yeah, a lot of good near falls and stuff. Um, yeah, a lot of good near falls, a lot of good offense and move, inside the ring and outside the ring. Frankie, for a guy who's I think he's 48, I think he's 48 now. At least that's what Chris Van Vliet said this morning. For a guy who's 48, he can still go. Like so, you gotta give props to the world champ and stuff. So yeah, good. Yeah, good. Again, yeah, this was basically a showcase for Bronson. He had a good effort. And then lower towards the match, yeah, he was on the outside. The referee was going to count to 10, but then he made it back in. And of course, Frankie hits the fade the black finisher, I think. Yeah, and of course got the three, retained the belts. But yeah, very good showing. Competitive defense for Frankie. Good showing from Bronson. So looking forward to what this dude got. Any more thoughts before I continue?
No, like he just made it. He should have just made himself a lot of money with TNA. They need to go in with this guy. Yeah, and again, Kaz is a consummate pro. You know what I mean? He's been in this business that long of a time because he knows what he's doing out there. Yeah, 48. Yeah, you fooled me. So yeah, no, this was really good. Obviously, Kazarian gets to win. We get Santana coming out. He lets us know, we alluded to this earlier, they're pulling the trigger on the match earlier. It's not going to be Kazarian versus Santana at Genesis. They're going to roll with that match on the AMC debut. We're getting it 3 days early. I don't think that the date changes the finish. I think that was going to go back to Santana. But yeah, they're loading up for AMC in the best way. So we've got 2 big time matches to mark your calendar for. So yeah, I'm ready for this one. But overall, this was a really good show, Io. But what were your thoughts on the show as a whole?
Thought it was a good. I thought that was a good show. Good way to at least, as I mentioned earlier, to keep the gears back in motion towards the AMC debut. Seems like all the attention is towards the AMC debut, as it should be, and should be a very good should be a very good night. For two, we got 2 big matches, Slater and Myron, and Santana and Kazarian. It's gonna be a very good fun night. January 15th. And also for Leon, he's got his work cut out. I mean, he got to get through Oba, or I mean, he's got to survive Oba or whatever, and then of course deal with Myron, and then the triple threat at Genesis. So busy few days for that guy. But yeah, AMC premiere is going to be loaded. It's going to be yeah. I can tell TNA is going to be. At least I think they're going to put more focus towards the Impact weekly episodes,
which is a good thing. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, I will say one thing that the old TNA should have worked on. Like they were focused, and obviously Russo was running at the time, so this is a no brainer. Like for example, like I'll give you an example. Goldberg versus Hogan, Monday Nitro, Georgia Dome. Goldberg beats Hogan for the title. Everyone and their mothers, even Bischoff, made that this should have been saved for a pay-per-view. Because like at the time, both guys were draws and attraction, stuff like that. You would have saved it for the pay-per-view. So, and I say this because in the old TNA, or at least during the 2010s, so to speak, we would have good TV, but like we would have like shitty pay-per-view matches. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like shitty pay-per-view matches. Like the buy rates were, oh my god. That's for another convo, but yeah, it just felt like so unbalanced, so to speak. Good TV, not good pay-per-view cards, so to speak. So for this current TNA, I want to kind of see like a balance. Like, yeah, you can put on good stuff for the TV, but also kind of keep the balance in for the pay-per-views and the plus specials. So I think we're gonna get something like that beginning January 15th. Oh yeah,
I completely agree with you.
You're saying?
Sorry. No, yeah, the refocus on TV and these yeah, I love, and Matthew's talking about the Hogan lost the WC title to Luger as well. Yeah, no, making some big moments on TV, I want to go back to them. And yeah, but I certainly don't want to go back to shitty pay-per-views like we did have in the 2010s. There should be a great balance of both. But yeah, TV's definitely been lacking moments, I would say, in the last couple of years. So I'm looking forward to getting a return to that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, with that being said, I want to thank you guys all for joining. I want to thank Guyo joining me as well, joining me here every week. I want to make sure let you guys all know to like and subscribe this video, like and subscribe to Body Slam, so when you get notified everyone when we go live, or when whenever the many great people at Body Slam go live as well. A lot of good people over there doing a lot of great things. Check out all their shit. Phenomenal.
Yeah.
But with that being said, so what you know?
Also saying, like, shout out to everyone who listens to us, who
Yes.
gives comments and stuff. We appreciate it. And shout out to shout out to everyone who covers TNA too.
Exactly. And yeah, no, especially lately, IO, people put in a lot of work. You know, I mean, TNA's been making a lot of headlines lately, and you know, there's a lot of people behind the scenes covering and making sure, you know, the fans like us get that info. So yeah, bravo to all of you. But with that being said, make sure to like and subscribe, like I said, and we will see you all next week. Have a good night and Happy New Year.
Peace.